You think you have time, you don't. What's coming will challenge every part of you, your belief system, your work ethic, your very identity. And if you're not ready, if you don't equip yourself with these 3 skills now, what's coming will crush you. But there's good news. It's not too late. You can be prepared. You will be prepared. And I'm going to show you exactly how. By the end of this, your mindset will never be the same. The power of adaptability. Let's get one thing straight. If you're not changing, you're dying. The world is constantly evolving, and if you don't evolve with it, you'll be left behind. I don't say that to scare you. I say it to wake you up. Change is not a threat. It's a gift. A challenge, yes, but a gift. Because in change, there's opportunity. When you think of success, do you think of a straight line? Do you imagine a clear, uninterrupted path to the top? Well, let me tell you, there is no straight line. Life isn't about following a predictable road. It's a maze, a winding path full of sharp turns, unexpected dead ends, and hidden doors. And to navigate this maze successfully, you have to be flexible. You have to be adaptable. Take the story of Netflix. At one point, they were a DVD rental service. Yes, DVDs. They didn't start out as a streaming giant, yet today they dominate the entertainment industry. Why? Because they adapted. When they saw the world moving towards digital streaming, they didn't cling to their old model. They pivoted, they took the risk. And that's why they're still at the top today. They could have easily sunk into the past relying on old revenue streams, but they understood that in order to thrive, they had to change. Now, let's talk about you. You might be thinking, I've already changed. I've already adapted, but I'm not talking about superficial change. I'm talking about real transformation, about reinventing yourself when life demands it, about knowing that the world isn't static and neither are you. Are you stuck in your ways? Are you clinging to what worked in the past, even though it's no longer serving you? Are you comfortable because you know what to expect every day, or are you in constant pursuit of growth? The truth is, our resistance to change comes from fear of failure, fear of losing control. But what if the real failure is staying the same while everything else is moving forward? You think change is the enemy, but it's your best ally. The most successful people on this planet didn't fear change, they embraced it. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, they created it. Let's take a personal example. Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey. She could have easily stayed within the confines of her talk show format, but she didn't. She pivoted first to her own network, then to becoming a media mogul, a philanthropist, and an international icon. She didn't allow the shifting tides of the media world to drown her. Instead, she learned to ride those waves. She adapted, she grew. But you don't have to be a billionaire or a famous celebrity to make this change work for you. This applies to you right now, today. Think about your career, your relationships, your personal goals. Are you holding on to something because it's comfortable, something that worked in the past but no longer serves you? That's the exact moment to make a change. That's the moment you need to adapt. And here's the thing, adaptability doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or abandoning your goals. It means finding new ways to pursue them. When one door closes, find another one. When life punches you in the face, and it will, learn to roll with the punches. Learn to find the lesson in every setback. I've seen countless people walk away from their dreams because they couldn't adjust. They were too rigid. They couldn't handle the turbulence, so they gave up. But the ones who succeed, the ones who truly make a mark on this world, are the ones who roll with the punches. They bend but never break. They don't see obstacles as the end of the road. They see them as detours to greater success. So ask yourself right now, where in your life are you resisting change? Where do you need to be more adaptable? What could you do today to shift your thinking, to embrace uncertainty, and to move forward with courage? Remember, you can either fight change and risk being left behind, or you can adapt and thrive. The choice is yours. Metering emotional resilience. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. That's the difference between surviving and thriving. Life is full of adversity, setbacks, failures, disappointments, and it's easy to let those moments define you. You lose your job and it feels like the world is crashing down. You hit a personal crisis and it feels like you'll never see the light at the end of the tunnel. But let me tell you this, what defines you is not what happens to you, but how you choose to respond. Emotional resilience is the key to turning setbacks into comebacks. It's the ability to stay strong in the face of adversity. It's the ability to rise when life knocks you down, but it's not something you're born with, it's something you build. It's a muscle that grows stronger every time you refuse to let your emotions dictate your actions. Let me give you an example. Think about Nelson Mandela. Here was a man who spent 27 years in prison, 27 years in isolation, in a small cell, enduring unimaginable hardship. But when he emerged from that prison, he didn't seek revenge. He didn't let bitterness take root in his heart. Instead, he chose to forgive. He chose to heal. He chose to lead a nation out of apartheid. Mandela didn't allow his emotions to control him. He controlled them. So how do we build emotional resilience? First, understand this. Your emotional state is like a muscle. If you've ever worked out in a gym, you know that in order to grow, you need to break down the muscle fibers so they rebuild stronger. Emotional resilience works the same way. Every time you go through a tough time, you have the choice to either let it break you or let it make you. The more you face challenges and decide to rise, the stronger you become. The truth is, the world will test you. It will throw everything it has at you, and it won't stop. But if you learn to embrace the discomfort of emotional pain, to understand that it's a natural part of life, you'll start to build an unshakable inner strength. You have the power to decide how much power life's challenges have over you. Think about this. What's the toughest situation you've ever been in? What did you do? Did you let fear take over? Did you let doubt creep in? Or did you push through even when you felt like giving up? Every time you've faced a tough situation and made it through, you've already proven your emotional resilience. But there's more work to do. Every time you bounce back, you get stronger and you become more capable of handling even greater challenges. This brings us to a powerful lesson. Resilience is about responding, not reacting. There's a huge difference. When life throws you a curveball, your first response is often emotional, anger, frustration, fear. But reaction is automatic. It's the easy way out. Responding, on the other hand, takes conscious effort. It takes a moment of pause. When you pause, you give yourself the space to choose your response. Instead of reacting from a place of fear or frustration, you respond from a place of strength. And that is how you build resilience. Think about Oprah Winfrey for a moment. Her story is filled with pain and rejection. She was fired from her first television job, told she was unfit for TV, and went through personal trauma that would break most people. But Oprah's resilience isn't in how she avoided pain, it's in how she handled it. She chose to rise above it. She chose to learn from it. She chose to use her pain to fuel her purpose. Here's the hard truth. You can't avoid pain, but you can choose how you respond to it. And that choice is what gives you the power to bounce back stronger than ever. Now ask yourself this: how will you respond to adversity today? Will you rise? Will you face it head on and learn from it? Or will you let it control you? The decision is yours, and if you choose to respond instead of react, you'll build a resilience so strong that nothing can ever break you. So the next time life challenges you, remember, you've already survived 100% of your toughest days. And that's proof of your strength. Keep going. Your resilience will carry you farther than you ever imagined. The art of focus and execution. In a world full of distractions, one of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to focus. But it's not just about focusing, it's about executing. The truth is, you can't achieve anything if you're not able to zero in on what matters most and then take relentless action toward it. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you started something with excitement only to let it fade when the next shiny object caught your attention? You know that feeling, the initial burst of energy, the excitement of a new project, only to find yourself distracted and off course a few weeks later. We all do it, but here's the problem. Focus is the key to success, and without it, you're just wasting time. Think about Steve Jobs, the man who created one of the most powerful companies in the world, Apple. Jobs was a master of focus. When he returned to Apple in the late 90s, the company was on the brink of collapse, but Jobs didn't try to do everything. He didn't spread himself thin. He didn't try to launch hundreds of products at once. He focused on a few key projects: the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, and he executed them flawlessly. Jobs didn't just have ideas, he had the focus to turn those ideas into reality. He knew that to create something truly groundbreaking, he couldn't afford to be distracted by anything that wasn't absolutely essential. Now, let's talk about you. What's the most important goal in your life right now? What's the one thing that if you accomplished it would change everything for you? If you're not clear on that, here's where you start. You have to be able to define your most important objective. And then you have to focus laser focus on it. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of life. We all have 1,000 things vying for our attention: emails, social media, meetings, phone calls, you name it. But if you're trying to do everything, you're doing nothing. The key to success is simple. Identify your highest priority and execute on it with everything you've got. Think of Elon Musk, the man behind Tesla and SpaceX. Musk isn't just some entrepreneur with big dreams. He's a man who understands focus. When SpaceX was struggling to launch rockets, Musk didn't abandon the mission. He poured his energy into improving his technology, solving problems, and executing his vision. He didn't let distractions stop him. Musk's ability to stay focused, even when faced with enormous challenges, is a huge part of why he's been so successful. The point is, successful people don't just have ideas, they execute. And they execute with focus. Focus is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. But if you're constantly jumping from one thing to the next, that muscle weakens. You can't expect to achieve extraordinary things if you're not willing to commit to one thing and stay the course. Here's the hard truth. Focus is a choice. You are in control of where you direct your energy. Every time you allow yourself to get distracted by something irrelevant, you're choosing to take your energy away from what matters. It's not the distractions that are the problem. It's your decision to let them take you off course. You have the power to change that. Ask yourself, how much of your day is spent on things that don't move you closer to your goal? How much time do you spend scrolling through social media, checking your email, or doing things that aren't aligned with your vision? Every minute you spend on distractions is a minute you could have spent executing on your dreams. Now, focus doesn't just mean blocking out distractions. It means executing with precision. It means setting clear, actionable steps and then taking relentless action toward them. It's about breaking your goals down into manageable tasks and knocking them out one by one until you've built momentum and achieved your vision. Take a moment to think about your vision and ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do today to move closer to that vision? It doesn't have to be some grand, life-changing step. It's often the small, consistent actions that compound over time to create massive results. Focus and execution are what separate the dreamers from the achievers. The difference between wishing for success and creating success is in your ability to focus and execute relentlessly. If you want to reach the top, you must learn to ignore the noise, silence the distractions, and execute with discipline. So ask yourself, where do I need to sharpen my focus? What can I execute on today, right now, to make sure I'm one step closer to my ultimate goal? Success isn't a result of ideas alone, it's the result of action. So act, focus, and execute. The world belongs to those who do, the power of a growth mindset. What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and your greatest potential is your mindset? You see, the way you think about your abilities, your challenges, and your potential determines how far you'll go in life. And the most powerful thing you can do to unlock your future is to shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. This shift will change everything. How you see failure, how you approach learning, and how you handle obstacles. Let me tell you something. Failure isn't the end. It's the beginning. The people who succeed aren't the ones who avoid failure. No, they're the ones who embrace it. They understand that failure isn't a reflection of their worth. It's a stepping stone to growth. If you've ever been stuck in a moment where you felt like giving up because something didn't go right, that's where your growth mindset begins, because a growth mindset isn't about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it and using it to propel yourself forward. Take a moment and think about Michael Jordan. You know him as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but do you know he was cut from his high school basketball team? That's right, Michael Jordan. The man who revolutionized the game of basketball failed before he succeeded. But did he give up? No. He used that failure to fuel his desire to get better. He didn't say, I'll never be good enough. He said, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to improve. That is the essence of a growth mindset, seeing every failure as a chance to grow stronger, better, and more resilient. But it's not just about the big names like Michael Jordan. It's about you. Every day, you have the opportunity to build your own growth mindset. When you face a challenge at work, in your personal life, or even just in your own development, how do you react? Do you avoid the challenge? Do you let it discourage you? Or do you see it for what it really is, an opportunity to grow? I want you to imagine yourself in a tough situation. Maybe it's a project that's failing, a relationship that's falling apart, or a goal that's slipping through your fingers. What's your first instinct? Do you say to yourself, I'm just not cut out for this? Or do you think, What can I learn from this moment? How can I improve? What can I do differently next time? That simple shift in thinking, seeing a challenge as an opportunity, will define your future. The power of a growth mindset isn't just in how you handle failure, it's how you see your abilities. Do you believe you can improve? Do you believe that with effort, time, and practice, you can learn anything and become anyone you want to be? A growth mindset tells you that the limits you feel today are not the limits you'll have forever. You can change, you can evolve, and you can grow into the person you need to be to achieve your dreams. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, is another example. She was rejected by multiple publishers before finally finding someone who believed in her book. She didn't quit. She didn't let failure define her. Instead, she believed in her potential and kept going. Imagine if she had listened to the no's instead of trusting in her ability to get better, to refine her craft. She didn't have a fixed mindset that told her she wasn't good enough. She had a growth mindset, and it led her to success beyond her wildest dreams. So let me ask you this. What's stopping you from embracing your own growth mindset? What's holding you back from taking your challenges head on, knowing that every setback is just a setup for a comeback? I promise you, the moment you start seeing failure as part of the process, the moment you start believing that you can improve, that you can grow, you'll unlock a whole new world of possibility. The beauty of a growth mindset is that it doesn't just affect your career or your ambitions, it affects every aspect of your life. It affects your relationships, your health, your happiness. When you believe that you can grow and evolve, it transforms the way you approach every area of life. No more self-limiting beliefs, no more feeling stuck. Instead, you're constantly moving forward, learning, adapting, and becoming the best version of yourself. The power of a growth mindset is this. It turns your potential into reality. It turns obstacles into stepping stones, failure into lessons, and struggles into growth. The only limit to your success is the limit you place on your own mindset. So start today. Embrace the idea that you can grow. Embrace the challenges, the setbacks, the mistakes, because in the end, they are your greatest teachers and they will take you places you never thought possible. Relentless drive and hunger is a fire inside of you, one that, if stoked, can carry you farther than you ever imagined. But the question is, are you hungry enough to let it burn? That hunger deep within your soul is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's what transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary forces of nature. If you want to reach the highest levels of success, you have to cultivate a relentless drive. You need to get hungry for your vision, for your purpose, for your goals, and you need to pursue them with everything you've got, no matter what stands in your way. You see, hunger isn't just about wanting success, it's about needing it. It's about waking up every single day with the unshakable belief that today is the day you're going to move closer to your dreams. It's about not being satisfied with mediocrity. Hunger makes you push through exhaustion. It pushes you past the naysayers, the obstacles, and even your own doubts. It doesn't let you rest until you've achieved what you set out to do. Look at Kobe Bryant. Kobe wasn't just talented, he was hungry. His drive to be the best was relentless. When he wasn't playing, he was practicing. He would stay up late, wake up early, and put in hours of work, not because he had to, but because he wanted it more than anything else. His hunger for greatness kept him going long after others would have quit. He didn't just want to be a great basketball player, he wanted to be the greatest. And that hunger drove him to achieve things most people can only dream of. But here's where the real power lies. Hunger isn't a one-time event. It's a way of life. You have to wake up every day and ignite that fire. You have to remind yourself why you're doing this, why you're putting in the hours, why you're sacrificing. It's easy to get complacent. It's easy to rest when things are going well. But that's not what sets champions apart. The champions are the ones who keep pushing when the road gets tough. They don't stop because they're tired. They stop when they've achieved everything they've set out to do. Steve Jobs had that hunger. When Apple was at the brink of failure, he didn't throw in the towel. Instead, he doubled down on his vision. When others told him to accept mediocrity, he refused. That hunger for excellence, that unyielding drive to create something that would change the world, pushed him to build the company we know today. He was relentless. That's the key. Hunger is not just a desire, it's a compulsion. And here's the thing, hunger isn't about luck, it's about making a decision. It's about making a commitment to yourself that you won't stop until you've reached your highest potential. You want success? Get hungry for it. You want more abundance? Get hungry for it. You want to leave a legacy? Get hungry for it. Success doesn't just come to those who wait. It comes to those who chase it with the fierceness of a lion hunting its prey. Let's talk about Elon Musk, the man behind Tesla and SpaceX. Musk didn't just dream of going to space, he was obsessed with it. He faced financial ruin, endless doubters, and countless technical failures, but he never gave up. His hunger to revolutionize space travel, to create sustainable energy, to change the world, kept him going when everything seemed impossible. Musk's relentless drive is why he's one of the most innovative leaders of our time. That drive, that hunger, is what keeps pushing him toward the impossible. The question is, are you hungry enough? When you wake up in the morning, what are you hungry for? Are you hungry for success, for growth, for greatness? Or are you merely going through the motions, waiting for something to come to you? If you want to be extraordinary, you need to fuel that fire. You need to nurture that hunger every single day, even when it feels hard, even when you want to quit. Because the truth is, success doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to those who are hungry enough to fight for it. So let me leave you with this. Never stop feeding that hunger. Let it drive you to places you never thought possible. The road will be tough. The challenges will be real. But if you're hungry enough, there's nothing that can stop you. The moment you decide to go all in, to give everything you've got, is the moment you unlock the life you were meant to live. Your hunger will propel you forward. Keep it burning, because that fire will be the fuel that carries you to the top. Creating strategic relationships. You've heard the saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But I'm here to tell you, it's not just about knowing the right people, it's about building strategic relationships that empower you, challenge you, and propel you toward your goals. Success isn't a solo journey. It's about the alliances you form, the people you surround yourself with, and the connections you build along the way. The question is, are you building relationships that will help you grow, or are you just collecting contacts? Let's take Richard Branson, for example. Branson didn't create Virgin by sitting in an office coming up with ideas on his own. He built a network of visionary people who shared his dreams. He surrounded himself with individuals who were just as committed to challenging the status quo as he was. Every successful entrepreneur understands this. You can't do it alone. Whether it's a mentor, a partner, or a colleague, your relationships shape the path to your success. Branson's ability to create strategic relationships has been the driving force behind every Virgin venture. He knows that in order to rise, you need the right people to help you get there. But it's not just about finding people who will help you climb the ladder. Strategic relationships are about mutual growth. You must be willing to give as much as you receive. Think about Oprah Winfrey and Maya Angelou. Oprah has spoken many times about the profound impact Maya had on her life, not only as a mentor, but as a friend and collaborator. Their relationship wasn't built on transaction. It was rooted in deep respect, shared wisdom, and a commitment to one another's growth. That kind of relationship doesn't just happen. It's built on trust, vulnerability, and genuine connection. And Oprah's success is a reflection of the strength of the relationships she cultivated. Strategic relationships are also about finding people who challenge you. Think about someone like Bill Gates. His partnership with Paul Allen in the early days of Microsoft wasn't about agreeing on everything. It was about pushing each other to be better. Gates has often talked about how Allen's vision for the company helped him see possibilities he never would have considered. And while they eventually went their separate ways, their relationship was instrumental in shaping the success of Microsoft. That's the beauty of strategic relationships. They don't just push you forward, they help you expand your thinking, push your boundaries, and see the world in a new light. But let's talk about you for a moment. How intentional are you about the relationships you're building? Are you surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, people who make you uncomfortable, people who force you to grow? Or are you staying in your comfort zone, surrounding yourself with people who make you feel safe, but don't push you to be better? If you want to create real lasting success, you need to build relationships with people who will help you elevate your game. Here's the thing, relationships aren't just about business. They're about value. Are you bringing value to the people you connect with? If you're only focused on what you can get from a relationship, it's doomed from the start. You have to give first. That's how you create relationships that are sustainable and powerful. When you pour value into others, whether it's through your knowledge, support, or time, you establish trust and respect. That's when the magic happens. People want to work with people they trust. People want to partner with people who care, and people want to help those who help others. Now, think about the people you know, your circle of influence. Are they helping you grow? Are they challenging you to level up, to push past your limits? If not, it might be time to reevaluate who you're spending your time with. It's not about quantity, it's about quality. The right relationships will move you forward, and the wrong ones will hold you back. The energy you surround yourself with will either lift you up or drag you down. So start being intentional about the relationships you form. Reach out to those who inspire you, those who push you, those who make you see the world in new ways. Those are the people who will help you create success. Strategic relationships aren't just about business deals or social status. They're about growth, learning, and expansion. So build your network with intention, nurture it with care, and watch it help you rise to heights you never thought possible. Success is never a solo journey. It's the people you meet along the way who make all the difference. The ability to pivot. You know what the hardest part of success is? It's knowing when to change direction. It's not about sticking to your original plan until it works no matter what. It's about having the wisdom to see when something's not working, the courage to admit it, and the boldness to pivot. The ability to pivot is one of the most powerful skills you can develop because life and business rarely goes according to plan. Those who can adapt to change, reevaluate their path, and move forward with confidence are the ones who ultimately thrive. Let's talk about Amazon for a moment. Jeff Bezos didn't start Amazon with the vision of becoming the world's largest retailer. He started by selling books online, a niche market that had the potential to scale. But what happened? He saw that the opportunity wasn't just in books. It was in everything. Amazon pivoted from a small bookstore to a global e-commerce powerhouse because Bezos recognized a shift in the market and made the strategic decision to evolve. He wasn't afraid to pivot when the time came, and because of that, Amazon didn't just survive, it dominated. And that's the key. The ability to pivot isn't about abandoning your dreams or giving up when things get hard. It's about seeing where the world is moving and aligning your actions with it. Think about Netflix. Once a DVD rental company, it pivoted into streaming and eventually content creation. If Netflix hadn't pivoted, it would have been crushed by its competitors. It was the willingness to adapt to the growing demand for online streaming that allowed Netflix to become a dominant force in the entertainment industry. But here's the real truth. We all face moments when we need to pivot, and many of us resist it. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. We don't like admitting we're wrong or that our original plan didn't work out. But the ability to pivot comes from being emotionally strong enough to make that decision to say, this isn't working anymore. But that doesn't mean I can't find a better way forward. There's power in flexibility. The world isn't static. And if you're not constantly assessing and adjusting your approach, you risk getting stuck. Think about Blockbuster and Kodak. Two companies that didn't pivot in time. Blockbuster stuck to its traditional brick and mortar rental model while the world was moving toward digital streaming. Kodak didn't see the rise of digital photography and clung to film. Both companies failed because they didn't make the pivot. They didn't see the writing on the wall, and by the time they did, it was too late. Adapt or perish. That's the hard truth. Now ask yourself, what areas of your life or business need a pivot right now? Maybe it's your career, maybe it's your relationships, maybe it's a personal goal. Are you holding on to something because it's familiar, because it's comfortable? Sometimes you need to make a tough decision to take a step back, reevaluate, and move in a different direction. That's where real growth happens. The ability to pivot doesn't mean you're giving up on your ultimate vision. It means you're choosing the best path forward. It's like navigating a river. You can't control the current, but you can adjust your course. And sometimes those small adjustments make all the difference. Here's a challenge for you. When was the last time you pivoted in your career, your personal life, your approach to your goals? What did you do when things weren't going as planned? Did you change course? Or did you keep pushing forward with the same old approach? The people who succeed aren't the ones who never face challenges. They're the ones who face the challenge, learn from it, and make the necessary changes to keep moving forward. In life, the only constant is change. The moment you learn to embrace it, to pivot with purpose and confidence, is the moment you unlock a new level of potential. Don't let pride or fear hold you back from adjusting your course. Be flexible, be adaptive, be willing to pivot when necessary, because the world is moving forward whether you're ready or not, and if you don't adapt, you risk being left behind. The ability to pivot is not just a strategy, it's a mindset. And that mindset will keep you moving towards success no matter how many times you need to change direction. Fearless leadership isn't about titles or positions. It's about the courage to take responsibility, the bravery to make tough decisions, and the willingness to stand up when everyone else is sitting down. Fearless leadership is about more than just leading others. It's about leading yourself first. The most powerful leaders don't wait for others to lead them. They take charge even when the path isn't clear, even when the odds are stacked against them. Fearless leadership means stepping into uncertainty and trusting that you have what it takes to figure it out. And the truth is, the world is in desperate need of leaders who aren't afraid to make bold moves, to challenge the status quo, and to inspire others to rise to their full potential. Look at Nelson Mandela. Here was a man who spent 27 years in prison, and when he was released, the entire nation of South Africa was watching. He didn't just step into a role of leadership, he became the embodiment of hope for an entire generation. Mandela led not through fear or intimidation, but through the sheer force of his conviction and his ability to forgive. He made the conscious choice to be fearless in his leadership, even in the face of unimaginable adversity. He didn't let fear of failure or fear of opposition stop him. Instead, he used those fears as fuel to create a more just and unified world. That's the power of fearless leadership. It's not about avoiding fear. It's about confronting it and choosing to lead anyway. And let's talk about Mahatma Gandhi, another leader who defied all odds. He didn't have an army, he didn't have a vast amount of resources, but what he had was a clear vision, unwavering courage, and a fearless belief that he could create massive change, and he did. Gandhi didn't fight violence with violence. He led with nonviolence, with principles, with compassion. His leadership wasn't about force. It was about the relentless pursuit of what was right. He didn't wait for permission. He didn't wait for a more convenient time. He led because he believed it was his responsibility to act. And in doing so, he changed the course of history. Now let's bring this back to you. You may not be leading nations or movements, but every single day you have opportunities to be a fearless leader in your own life. Fearless leadership doesn't always look grand or dramatic. It's about making decisions when the outcome isn't guaranteed. It's about making the tough calls when everyone else is too scared to act. It's about standing firm when the storm is raging all around you. Leadership starts with a decision. Do you have the courage to lead yourself first? Think about a time when you faced a challenge, whether it was personal, professional, or emotional. How did you respond? Did you shrink back in fear, or did you rise to the occasion? True leadership isn't about having all the answers. It's about having the confidence to move forward, even when the path is unclear. Leaders make decisions not because they know everything, but because they trust in their ability to adapt, to learn, and to grow. They lead by example, showing others that it's not the absence of fear that makes them strong, but their willingness to push through fear. Look at Oprah Winfrey. She built an empire not just through her talent, but through her fearless leadership. Oprah wasn't afraid to be vulnerable, to show up as her authentic self, to tackle difficult topics that others wouldn't touch. Her leadership was rooted in the courage to face challenges head on, and it's why millions follow her today. She built a career not just on what she did, but on how she led others to feel empowered to live their best lives. Here's the bottom line: leadership is a choice. You don't have to have a title to be a leader. You just have to choose to lead day in and day out. You lead by showing up. You lead by being true to your values. You lead by making the tough decisions even when you're scared. And when you lead fearlessly, you inspire others to follow you. The world needs more leaders who aren't afraid to take risks, to speak their truth, and to make bold moves. Are you ready to step up? Are you ready to take charge of your life, your vision, and your future? Because fearless leadership doesn't come from a place of knowing exactly what's going to happen. It comes from the courage to act anyway. And when you do, you become a force that can change everything.